Salute, 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 Knicks Nation. The streets are buzzing. Merry Christmas to all Knicks Nation out here. Hope everybody's doing well. Glad to be rocking out with you today. But unfortunately, the Knicks couldn't deliver us that Christmas dub like we would have hoped. But I'm here to chop it up with you all. Salute to the chat. Salute Knicks Nation. Salute Replay Gang. Tough loss today at MSG. The Knicks went down. It was just a tough affair against Philly. Threw it away in the fourth quarter. Couldn't handle the firepower, that Philly had. And the Knicks, struggled down the stretch. We're going to talk about it. Let's get into it. But Merry Christmas out here to everyone. And wishing you health, prosperity, and hope you're enjoying this holiday season. But man, we got a lot to talk about tonight. We're going to look at the road ahead like we do. The Knicks pick up their third straight loss today after winning 8 straight. And I said, after the Knicks were on that win streak, that they hit a fork in the road about 3 or 4 games into the win streak. But now the Knicks have hit another fork in the road, ladies and gents, with this 3-game skid right now. We need to stem the flow and stop the bleeding right now. So we're going to be looking at the road ahead as the trade rumors and the talk around the NBA hots up right now. And we know we've got some NBA action going on. We'll talk about some of the games today that we've seen and the games going on. And no doubt we've got plenty of thoughts from the chat to get out here, man, after this tough loss to Philly. Because, the Knicks played well in the first quarter, second quarter, couldn't close out the second quarter. But the first and the third quarter hang well with Philly. But ultimately, Philly had a lot of role players that stepped up. The Knicks defense has regressed some. But we'll talk about it. We'll give out the grades and we'll look at the road ahead. Salute to the chat. Let's go. Kaiser Soze, salute. Let's go. We were doing well in the fourth quarter, but then we started playing some hero ball. Look, when you're under a lot of pressure, the teams do usually regress to bad habits, fam. Definitely. And we saw a lot of bad habits creep back in. I sort of separate today's loss with the last two. We chopped up the last 2 losses, ad nauseum, and they were different. The Knicks gave those games away, which hurts even more now. Today's game was just, in my opinion, the Knicks were just out-muscled, out-powered by a better team. And yes, we still could have won the game. And yes, we had players to help us win. But ultimately, I don't think we had enough, And that's a preview of what I'm going to talk about when we look ahead, the second part of the show, where we'll talk about what the Knicks need to do. Because there's a clear, division in the East right now between the Knicks and these big boys, basically. The Knicks can hang tough with any team. But when it comes to the Milwaukees, the Celtics, the Sixers, and probably Brooklyn, I think the Knicks can hang tough with them. But, without extra firepower, it's going to be difficult. We have some pieces on the bench. We'll get the thoughts of the chat in the comment section. Replay gang, your thoughts on what the Knicks got to do with these pieces on the bench. But, I feel good in a 7-game series against any other team, whether it's Cleveland, ATL, Miami, Toronto, Washington, Charlotte, the Chicago, anyone else. I feel good in a 7-game series. But I'm talking the Phillies, the Sixers, the Brooklyn Nets, and the Bucks. There's a clear divide. There's a clear divide in talent right now. We saw the role players of Philly step up. And that's what I want to highlight to start the show, because we know James Harden going to do Harden things. Embiid did Embiid things, but who stepped up? It was their role players. It was DeAnthony Melton, Shake Milton, and George's Niang went hot. When we did the drop coverage, let him off. And with that said, the Knicks, we had a great half from Randle. Brunson was playing well in the first half before he got injured. RJ Barrett was working his way into the game. But, aside from Quickly, who else did we really have to step up? The Knicks are missing a clear piece or two in my opinion, definitely a piece or two to hang with these big boys. So give us your thoughts on that, Knicks Nation. Salute Sharp Powers. Appreciate you. Merry Christmas to you and your family. Let's go. Knicks Nation, we out here strong. Best chat in the biz. We're going to bounce back, but we got to talk about it, man. We got to talk about this tough loss as well. Hope you're doing well with your fam this holiday season. Let's go. JJ, salute to you, fam, as well. Tough loss. Played well, but yeah, it's a star-driven league. You said it. The 76ers had two of them, right? Yep. Couldn't have said it better, man. You said it. Um, big game players as well, you know. There's a clear drop-off between a Randle, Brunson, and a Harden and Embiid. Um, but, you know, the Knicks have players, we can hang tough, but um, when it comes down the crunch, when it's down the stretch, you know, our offense can stall. You know, you can get stops on us, and then what do we do? Uh, we will talk about the officiating as well because it wasn't as bad as the last few games, in my opinion, but it was still bad today. It was still bad. Superstars getting superstar calls. I mean, how difficult is it to D up Joel Embiid and Harden when they're already getting a friendly call? I mean, it's tough, man. Yeah, Charlotte hits on as well. I don't know, but was it just me? Those refs, yeah, and the calls and the no calls, yeah. No, you said it, fam. Yeah, it was clearly some issues with that, man. Some foley, man. Yeah, Niang hurt us with those threes, man. The drop coverage again. Salute Sherwin. Merry Christmas to you. Happy Hanukkah to everyone out here. Holiday season, and let's go. You know, we've got lots to talk about because the Knicks are still 2 games above 500. We are 18 and 16. We'll look at the standings. Um, but yeah, like I said at the very start of the show, we've definitely hit another fork in the road. I mean, it's crazy how quickly things can change. You know, 8 game winning streak, now 3 game losing streak. You know, you guys tell me, what do the Knicks need to do to get back to winning ways? You know, what do we got to do? Um, are things correctable just with this roster, or do you just feel like today it was just a matter of their roster better than our roster, and the Knicks need to make a piece or two upgrade in order to compete? Yep. And I like Philly's roster, like Kaiser says, you know, they've got guys that can hit shots. I mean, Shake Milton, DeAnthony Melton hitting half court heaves. Georges Niang has always been a killer, a Nick killer, even when he was with Utah. And, you know, we can't leave guys like that open. You know, they bring guys like that off the bench. You know, no disrespect to our guys, but you know, a lot of our guys off the bench are more defensive minded role players aside from Quickly right now. We definitely miss Obi tonight, and we miss another shooter, another guard. Yeah. Yeah, I think there was a lot of blown assignments, fam, as well with that. With the Niang dagger threes today, I don't know if it was in the scouting report in terms of drop back coverage. I think it was Julius Randle missing, you know, again having some blown assignments with that. But yeah, when we're not getting that look all game, and all of a sudden they throw it in there, we're left struggling with the pick and pop coverage, man. Also, let's talk about the zone because we were in a groove, we were moving the ball, and what happened again? Philly threw some zone at the Knicks, and the Knicks struggled to adjust. You know, initially, we just don't have clear, reliable shot makers, especially off the bench. Um, Hopefully, Jalen Brunson's okay, but yeah, most of the fan base is clearly seeing the Knicks big guys trying to give us all they've got, but they're definitely getting worn down, ladies and gents. I think the Knicks big guns are getting some wear and tear, especially Jalen Brunson at the top of that list, man. Um, I really feel like, yeah, Leon Rose could be making a move pretty soon to get some extra help up in here because we don't want to slide no more right now. Right now, it ain't at a critical level. The Knicks still, you know, 2 games above 500, around about where most people's expectations were this season, or maybe exceeding those expectations still. But look at these games coming up, man. You can't take a night off in the NBA. Yep. David, salute. JB played better than RJ. Struggles. Uh, we got to do this together. Yep. Yeah, JJ, I did see the quotes in the presser from Niang. He alluded to how surprised he was. I mean, yeah, he's just throwing a bit of shade out there. But yeah, he hasn't seen that kind of drop coverage since he was in high school, he said. But I mean, it happens, you know. Even before the Niang dagger threes, Harden and Niang missed a couple. So they had more looks than what they hit. They could have actually ended the game much sooner. I remember clearly in my mind thinking, man, if they'd hit a couple of those shots, it would have been a wrap. But they let us off the hook, and the Knicks went back the other way. We just couldn't get some buckets, and and we were struggling after that. That's usually what happens when the defense tightens up, and the Knicks just get a couple of bad shot selection, a couple of bad possessions, a turnover, and we tend to go in our shell. Um, but I really liked our first half, of course. It just felt like the Knicks weren't able to put Philly away because they're such a good team. And what's going to happen is if we keep making buckets, but we don't get stops on the other end, it's exactly like the Chicago game. You know, they keep hanging around. The Knicks have to keep trying to score all night long, get the score ticking over just to try to win. And tonight it was tough because Philly, I mean, when James Harden was hitting those logo deep threes, I was like, man, this is really going to be real tough for the Knicks to pull this one out. Um, a lot of the time for Knicks to win, we need to catch a break, and that's some misses on the other end. But Harden was hitting it. Embiid was in his bag. I mean, Mitch was in foul trouble a bit. Sims was in foul trouble, although a couple of the foul calls were ticky tack as well. So yeah, give us your thoughts, man. Hewlett, Samuel in the house, salute. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, everyone out here. Um, it's been a crazy season so far, but yeah, it's just going to another level right now, up and down like a roller coaster with this situation. 8 straight, now 3 games slide. Can we correct this and get back to winning ways? I have my doubts right now with this current rotation. It was good for a hot minute, but I think some adjustments got to be made now. That's what an NBA season is like, man. It's like a 7 game series. You got to keep making adjustments right now. Right now, we just don't have it. We don't have it. Guys are getting worn down. We don't have enough scoring off the bench, and also ball movement. Ball movement starts to stop. Kaiser says the next part of this schedule is a trap. Yet we are not good enough to sleep on any team. Right? You said it. You hit with that, Kaiser. Absolutely. Yep. Plenty of trap games because we hit the road, man. Um, I feel more confident on the road, and we'll talk about our home record right now. It ain't good, but yeah, like Kaiser hit on, we can't take any of these teams for granted right now. We need help, um, and also we need to make some moves quickly because what's the point in DNPing Cam? What's the point in not playing Fournier? When we need some shooting and Derrick Rose. I don't know what the heck's going on with Derrick Rose not even playing when we need an extra spark off the bench. So clearly they're in trade negotiations right now. Things need to happen quick right now because we're just wasting these roster spots right now. We could be pulling out some of these games, with some extra help. Be in the house, salute. Let's go. Merry Christmas to you. And yeah, we get no love right now from the refs. Yep. We got to make our own luck right now, fam. Yep. RJ Barrett has to flop, I think. Randle got the nice flop down pat. I think RJ Barrett need to learn the flop a little bit. Not saying he need to do it ridiculous, but nothing. But Jalen Brunson knows how to do that little flop, get the foul call. Um, Although that was definite cheese to close the half when I think it was Melton got the half court heave. Man, that was ridiculous. Jalen Brunson got hacked right there. That should never have happened, and we lost momentum. Up 6, trying to close out the half, which was a good half, and we just didn't catch a break with that one, man. So yeah, like I said, the Knicks came out hot. First quarter, 25-37, man, up 12 to close the first quarter. Excellent first quarter. Everything was flowing. Everything was money. And then the second quarter, we let Philly back in. We were trading buckets, just didn't get stops, didn't get enough stops, got foul trouble. The refs started to put their stamp on the game in the second quarter, and Philly closed it out 35-26, like I said, in the second quarter. And, it was a bad mistake to close that half, letting him get that shot off, but it was the ref's folly on that one. Then we bounced back, third quarter, 35-33. Again, looking in a nice position, but like the chat said, the fourth quarter was our undoing, man. And we only allowed 24 points to Philly, but 16 points of our own just was not enough, man. So that was the tale for tonight, man. About two and a half great quarters, but just not enough to close out the game. Almighty, what's good? What's good? Sherwin says we lost only because we have one point guard on the roster. We need a backup point. IQ and Deuce are not quite point guards in this stage, man. When the light's shining the brightest, definitely Deuce McBride's a defensive specialist, but yeah, he can't quite run an offense right now. It's obvious to see, like Sherwin said. And also, he's not exactly a shot maker either. Grimes played good, but he needs help. He locked down Harden for 2.5 quarters. Yep. Harden do Harden things, he was hitting the tough shots, tough logo shots, man. You can't do anything about them, but they hurt, man. They were backbreakers essentially, man. Almighty, what's good? Yeah, our guys work hard, like Shah says. Sims, McBride, those guys off the bench, they give you what they have, but yeah, they're just not enough to compete with the big boys, man. Absolutely. G Money, salute. Merry Christmas, fam. Hope you're well. And G says Sixers have too much talent and size. Yeah, the NBA is about matchups as well. Sims got bullied too. Yeah, two of the best mismatches in the NBA, Harden and Embiid. Always give credit to the opponent. Philly's built to contend, so this ain't no embarrassing loss by any means, man. I'm just looking at, where do the Knicks fit in to the pecking order in the East right now? Like I said, I think we can hang with the Philly, Bucks, Brooklyn Nets, and the Celtics, but they're still too strong for us. But we can hang. But the rest, the second tier below, the teams like the Cavs, the Hawks, Miami Heat, Toronto Raptors, and those teams are, where the Knicks really have a real shot, I think, in a 7-game series. But we need help. Yeah, we need help, man. Our big men were not up on the screens hedging, says Kaiser. Yet playing that drop coverage yet. Again, that's frustrating. With that, we've lost a lot of games the same way. I would hope that we've learned from these situations, man. This is the NBA. Can't leave shooters open like that, man. The looks that Niang had were just ridiculous, man. The looks that Harden had were ridiculous. With that, man. Will, Merry Christmas to you. Happy holidays to the chat. Yeah, tough loss, but everyone's out here strong, man. Happy to be chopping this up with you all on this holiday. And we're going to look ahead, man, because, yeah, this season's far from a wrap right now, man. The Knicks are in the thick of it. Make no mistake. Let's see what happens, man. I hope Obi comes back sooner than later because we need extra bodies right now. He gives us that extra scoring that we really need. Obviously, we need another defender, another wing defender and scorer off the bench, and another backup point guard right now. And yeah, the key turnovers, like Kaiser Soze hits on, they come at the worst time, it seems, with the Knicks and that situation. But that's the other team also playing well, putting pressure on us as well. What happens is when we have to keep picking the ball up out of the bucket, and it makes it tough. The defense can get set, and the Knicks have to walk the ball up with that situation. Yeah, and yeah, quickly got to have a green light for that second unit, but he's doing everything Quick can. I think I couldn't fault Quick's game today. Quiet money in the house. Salute. Merry Christmas. But I think, yeah, Quick's our lone offensive spark off the bench, man. We need more than that. But he was having a great game defending, doing all of that. The Quiet says, though, but Tibbs can only do but so much with what he has to work with as well. Yep, I agree to a degree. Julius Randle ain't great IQ defensively. He sags off, loses his man quite a lot. Brunson's undersized. Barrett's fighting through it as well. There are holes in this roster right now, no doubt about it. But I think with some bench upgrades where we fit well into that second tier into the East in terms of mixing it with the best of them, but having a great chance to beat any other team outside of the top four, in a 7-game series. Let's see what we do, man. Leon Rose has got to do some work up in here as well. We couldn't get the present. We couldn't get the dub on Christmas Day. Let's hope Leon Rose can give Knicks Nation a nice present as well post Christmas. Maybe a New Year's gift with that situation. What did you guys think of that big rumor, the Woj bomb that dropped right before the game, man? James Harden seriously entertaining going back to Houston. To me, the timing, you couldn't do nothing else but laugh about it. I mean, this is the NBA nowadays. Crazy social media, 24/7 buzz. But I look at it more like a leverage play. He's trying to squeeze a max deal out of Philly. Maybe there is a little bit of truth to he's not getting along completely with Embiid. These guys, they all have an ego. Embiid want to be that guy. Harden wants to be that guy there. Tonight we saw how dangerous they can be when when they're both sharing the rock and they're both hitting shots. Also, a couple of those threes miss, and the Knicks still have a great chance to win. So, not as heartbreaking as the last game. Like I said, the Knicks gave away the last two. Tonight was just simply not strong enough. Couple of mistakes, but not strong enough. I really think Brunson's starting to feel a bit gassed. He's banged up. Man, could we maybe get him a rest against San Antonio or Houston? What do you guys think about that? What do you guys think about trying to get a rest for JB? Because we can't continue to run him into the ground like this, man. Or you start quickly for a game, start quickly, give him 37 minutes, play Brunson 18 minutes off the bench, switch it up a little. I mean, IQ can do some stuff in the starting unit. Yeah, B says, yeah, we need guys off the bench that can fill it up. Yep. Yeah, to me, our starters versus their starters pretty much cancelled each other out for tonight. But what hurt us was the Miltons, the Niangs, those kind of guys. They're deadly. They can hit shots, man. We don't have that off the bench right now. I mean, we do have some guys sitting there, Fournier, Cam, but man, that boat has sailed. Those guys are not getting back in, man. Tonight would have been the night. Yeah, like Kaiser hits, man. We're all waiting to see what type of zany move this front office is about to do, man. Yep. What did you guys peep? The rumor, the talk, or the report, rather, that Ian Begley says that the Knicks have internally discussed the idea of bringing in Tobias Harris, man, Long Island's own Tobias Harris, and his huge contract right there, man. You know, I don't know what he's on. Was it 30 mil, fam? 30, 35, 40 mil? I mean, how are we going to fit that into our salary cap? I don't know. I mean, you take Fournier's salary, Cam and Derrick Rose's salary. I guess that fits. What are you going to have to give Philly? Some draft picks? Maybe a Cam Reddish, a Rose, and a Fournier can help Philly with some depth for their playoff push. But I got to see how many years left on Tobias's deal, right there, man. That's my concern, Sherwin. Things can start lingering. You start playing these guys a lot heavy minutes through pain, and things can get worse. Man, I'm worried about that, man. I'm worried about that situation, man. Yep. like I said, we have a roster with some guys. Use them, man. Um, use them. We've lost these couple games. Just play some guys. Play Deuce and quickly extended minutes. Sit Brunson out. Play Rose for a game or two. Yep. We need to get Brunson some rest. Now it may not be a night off, but maybe 20, 23 minutes kind of thing. If we're coasting, let's see. Let's see if we could get up against San Antonio or Houston and coast. Exactly, yeah. This is what Tibbs is known for too, burning out the players right now. Yep. Trying to squeeze every single dub out of this squad, man. Tom Thibodeau does get the best out of a roster, but to the detriment of players', abilities, their health, all of that situation, man. You could tell Brunson on the defensive side just doesn't have it, doesn't have the same kind of energy as well. We really need that from him, man. Almighty wants no parts of Tobias Harris, man, on this team right now. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I don't think that's the move. It would be a talent upgrade for sure, but it don't make business sense to me, man. Cormega, salute. Happy holidays to you and your fam. Appreciate you as well. What do you hope to see for the new year for these New York Knicks? They couldn't give us that dub today. Uh, I'm not mad at today's loss at all, man. It was the last two that hurt me, man. What do you guys think, Nick Streets, chat? The last two losses hurt me more than tonight. Tonight was like us just going back and forth and are not able to get stops down the stretch. Guys are tired, gassed. Played two really good quarters out of four quarters today as well. Harden and Embiid got hot. They got the rub of the green with the whistle, and their role players stood up. That's what happened in the end, man. Their role players stood up. We'll give out grades in a sec, but yeah, we're going to talk about RJ Barrett's, backup. After his 44-point performance, it was an interesting performance from RJ. A couple bad turnovers from him that cost us. A couple bad turnovers from Julius that cost us as well. Also, wouldn't mind us seeing get a real stretch five with that. I love Mitch, everything he's giving us. I'm fine with him as the starting guy, but a nice stretch five would be a good look, I think, for this team. I really think we're missing Obi. Yeah. Like Kaiser said, yeah, Brunson, I'm worried for that situation, man. We need him healthy. You know what I mean? If Brunson goes down, then to me, I'm looking at the draft. There's no playoff push with Jalen Brunson. I mean, maybe we make the play-in, lose in the first game, and go back into the lottery. With that, Anthony Salute, Zach LaVine coming to the Knicks. That'll be a name continue to be talked about. The Bulls have picked things up recently, but ultimately, I feel like a leopard's not going to change its spots. I think the Chicago Bulls season's pretty much already written. It's going to be a play-in or nothing. And I think, eventually Zach LaVine, they're going to have to make some tough decisions. I don't know which agency represents LaVine. I don't know if he's the kind of guy the Knicks are going to, raid their assets for. I think they're trying to look for a bigger guy. Also, look out for the Knicks name to continue to be used for leverage, ladies and gentlemen. This Tobias Harris thing, Zach LaVine. Just because you hear the Knicks in a situation, all it means is maybe the front office has just talked about it, internally. Maybe they've just talked about it and, it's just got leaked out kind of thing. Maybe that, I like OG, like Almighty keeps talking about, and Trey Murphy. I like that fit. With OG, I think we'd welcome his defense, his toughness, scoring wise. I don't know if he's going to help us that much, take us over the top with that situation for what it's going to take to give up. What would you give up for OG? Masai Ujiri's not going to play nice, man. Trading with him. Yep. Losing that first game of the play-in would be a disaster, right? Yeah, I think I always try to look at the glass half full, fam. We'd fall back into the lottery. We've got 2 great draft picks. We could get some crazy talent. I think I think the Knicks are headed in the right direction. This season ain't about the wins and the losses. We've seen some development, but Quentin Grimes has solidified himself as that starting 2 guard. I want to see more from RJ Barrett for the rest of this season. I want to see consistency from RJ Barrett. Like I said, he's our X factor. Again, I can't state this enough because Brunson and Randle are topping out. They can only give you what as much as they're giving you, right? Jalen Brunson ain't going to go to another level in some regards, and Julius Randle ain't suddenly going to become a different player. But the ceiling of this current team hinges on what RJ Barrett becomes or what he gives us. We can't have nights where it's 44 points, then it's crazy inconsistency the next night. I know he's still a young player, on the ascend, but I'm talking long term. I'm not talking tonight. I'm not talking tomorrow. I'm talking long term. This team, as currently constructed, ain't going to reach its next ceiling, its next level, without RJ Barrett taking another leap right there, man. We need consistency from him because, yeah, Brunson's giving you everything we expected and some, and nobody really expected Julius Randle to bounce back kind of the way he's done. So all eyes on RJ. I think for us to win a playoff series, like I said again, look at tonight, look at Philly, man. Look at their role players who stepped up. Well, we don't have anyone like that can step up. Just guys that dribbling off their foot, making costly turnovers as well, getting shook in the moment, all of that. There's some 3-and-D guys out there as well. Yeah, I would love to do with some extra toughness. I really do feel like we're missing that enforcer still. Um, if I'll preview this as we look at the road ahead later in the show, but I honestly feel like the Knicks are highly likely to do a trade with the LA Lakers. Cam Reddish. There's a bidding war going on right now. The Miami Heat, maybe the Bucks, the Lakers. They got blown out again by the Dallas Mavericks. So look out for that. Kendrick Nunn, Patrick Beverley. Those guys would add a little bit of toughness and a perimeter help. I think that this team sorely needs. What are you guys' thoughts on that, man? Yep. Like Almighty says, man, Zach Lowe, ESPN, guys throwing names out there, man. Yep. The league want to fleece us more than before. We got more picks. Yeah. We got to be smart with that, fam. We can't operate from any desperation perspective, man. Grimes took 9 shots today. Sherwin says that's great news. He need to average at least 12 shots a game, 3 shots a quarter. Yeah, I agree, man. Yeah. The same way I want Brunson taking a lot of the offense, I want Grimes taking a lot of the shots. If we keep moving the ball, we just get that extra pass, the defense scrambles. I think that's where the Knicks offense can go stagnant. Julius Randle, for as well as he's playing, if he just makes that extra pass and we use more time on the shot clock, we can usually get a better look. But Julius is hitting the shots right now, so I can't get on him too much. But he is taking some pretty tough shots, man. JT in the house, salute, happy holidays. We need more and reliable bench, right? You can't run your starters into the ground. Happy holidays. Yep, on point. Right now, it's crazy how the reduced rotation was the story, got us 8-game win streak, but we got to adjust again right now. This NBA season's crazy. You got to adjust. You can't keep running such a limited rotation. I really feel like tonight a Derrick Rose, Fournier, Cam Reddish could have given us something. We all remember what Kemba Walker did on Christmas Day, 1 year ago from today. Christmas miracle from Kemba Walker, 40-point piece, ladies and gentlemen. What's not to say if Evan Fournier, Derrick Rose, or Cam Reddish played tonight, they would have played absolutely fired up, like their life depended on it. Maybe they give us something extra. Maybe they give us something a little extra. But um, the writing is clearly on the wall now with them, man. And I really think that Leon Rose must be in deep discussions right now because, yeah, there's heaps of teams. Kaiser says, I really feel like the Brunson plan was a mistake. We should have drafted Halliburton, not Obi. Everyone says they wanted to replace Randle. I think that was a smoke screen for Brunson. With that said, you're looking at the bigger picture thing. I'm cool with the Brunson move. I think the contract's really reasonable for what he's doing, fam. I just think a lot of it's got to do with the pieces around him. I mean, some of the passes he was making today were great. The reads, he was opening up the defense. I think we're just relying on him too much right now, man. He's gassed. You look at the Brunson we've seen the last 2-3 games compared to the Brunson 10 games ago. It's night and day right now. Night and day, man. Even in Dallas, Brunson had a break. He could give the ball to Luka, let Luka do his thing. Right now, I think when Brunson gives the ball up, he's like, man, I've got to get it back again and do something. Sherwin says Randle normally makes the extra pass. Yeah, he's been great this season. I'm not getting on Randle for that. I just feel like he's probably thinking, who else can I pass it to as well? You know, Quentin Grimes, Mitch need to get more involved in the offense somehow, some way. But yeah, limited, man. We're limited right now. I'm happy with Grimes and his pathway. He's going to continue to grow. Yeah, just where this team is right now, we need bench help. That's the main thing. We need legit bench players that are able to step up and take on a starting role if someone goes down. That's the kind of bench guy I'm looking for right now. A guy that can come straight in and start if you need, but play off the bench. Ironically, I was thinking of a guy like Alec Burks. As ironic as it is, chat, Nick Streets, man. What are your thoughts on if this team had an Alec Burks that could give Brunson quickly a breather? How ironic is it that this team would be perfect for Alec Burks right now as a bench guy? Right there, man. Yeah, it's interesting. Terrence Ross, names like that. Eric Gordon. I didn't expect them to get for a name like Tobias Harris to be thrown out there, man. That was crazy. Our bench playing scared right now. Yeah, yeah, it's tough, man. We really have to stagnate RJ and Grimes to play with the bench just to get any offense right now. The lockdown defense was really working when we were playing some of these easier opponents, but I think we're getting a wake up call, fam, ladies and gents, man. This has been a legit wake up call now. I mean, this rotation it's probably the best we can do right now. I really think we need to be more flexible, throw Rose out there once in a while as well. Give him more of some burn if he's going to stick around, but it doesn't look like he will. Otherwise, I feel like he'll be playing. Yep, like Almighty says, man, that you just never know when you throw a guy out there on Christmas Day. Like Kemba, man, surprised us last season. That was a crazy performance, man. He lit it up. And he'll always have that, man. Randle was good until the fourth, and then he turned into a frog. Right? Yeah. Tired, gassed, trying to carry the load as well. Also, if you think about you're the opponent trying to scheme against the Knicks, I think we're very predictable. You kind of know who you need to shut down on the Knicks to make our offense go cold. And it just seems to work more often than not. Tom Thibodeau doesn't have any adjustment, and he can't stem the tide, kind of thing, man. That's why it got me worried. In a 7-game series, it's going to be tough to see who we could beat in a 7-game series if we made the playoffs. But where we're definitely missing pieces to compete with these teams, that's for sure, man. We might be able to pull out 1 or 2 games. right there. I missed that spin move, B. But yeah, he's trying everything, man. Trying everything. But the three ball is falling for Randle, man. He was absolutely on fire in the first quarter. Like I said, we were all sitting there giddy after one quarter. It was 25-37. I was like, man, the Knicks have come out tonight. They're taking no prisoners, and we're taking this dub, man. But of course, what happened? Philly worked their way back into the game. They worked us. The ref worked us. They slowed it down with the whistle. Um, didn't have too bad of a second quarter, 26-35. The ending hurt us with that heave. That was a momentum killer, you know. The Knicks go into halftime break up 6. Let's say if Melton doesn't hit that heave, you know, maybe we come out with a lot more momentum in the third, 35-33. Held our own. The Knicks held their own in the third. In the fourth, it was all she wrote. It was a wrap, man. 16 points in the fourth, man. That's a capitulation right there, man. Man. Travel vibes there. Appreciate the mods for getting this spam out of here, man. Hitting us on Christmas Day where it hurts. um, Dirty salute. Merry Christmas to you. Happy holidays. The clip of Niang clowning drop coverage should go viral, right? Yeah, it is going viral, man. Yep. Once again, the Knicks got killed by a role player again. Yep. That's what happens when a team got more depth than us, man. We scheme for a few dudes, then someone else goes off. You know, George's Niang, a Doogie Howser, a Jordan Nwora, someone, you know, we've seen him go off on us, man, with that situation. But Niang's nice, you know, no shade at Niang. I mean, I would love Niang on this team. I mean, he could stroke it. He's no scrub, but he's no starter on this team. But to have tough shot makers is what you need. D'Anthony Melton, Shake Milton, Korkmaz couldn't even get in today. I thought Tobias Harris was very quiet. I mean, Embiid and Harden handled us basically. You know, they didn't even need Tobias Harris to really give him anything, man. That shows how deep they are. And of course, they were missing Tyrese Maxey, probably their second to third best player. So let that sink in, man. Um, that shows, the Knicks are, that we're a clear drop down from these teams, man. Um, we built our roster in a certain way. I thought we had plenty of depth coming in, but when you ostracize Derrick Rose, Evan Fournier, and Cam Reddish, I mean, you just can't sustain that, right? The money being spent right now and the investment in the trade for Cam and the salaries of Fournier and Rose, we cannot sustain all three of those guys being ostracized to DNP CDs and still have enough depth on this roster, man. Leon Rose need to make some switch ups real quick right now. Yeah, we're missing like that other guy, like Anthony says, another game changer. With that said, then we're really in business right now. Salute Andrew. Yeah, the Houston Harden showed up, man. It's his favorite arena. He always says it, man. What else is new? Everyone gets fired up when they come to MSG, man. It's sickening right now, man. It's absolutely sickening, man. Madison Square Harden. I remember, was it 3 years ago? He released his signature shoe on the night that he came to MSG for Houston. Right there, man. It's getting ridiculous now. Right here. And the refs aren't even helping us out. You know, the refs are helping the road team when they come into MSG, man. Yeah, a clear guy like Clarkson, Kuzma, that would definitely help us go up a notch. Yep. Uh, you know, I'm not a fan of what it would take to bring in those guys. We'll probably have to part with draft compensation. But yeah, man, we need guys like that are tried and tested in the league, man, that can fill it up. Yep. And also exactly what Kaiser said, man. It seems like all of these teams that come in at least have 3 to 4 consistent guys that can shoot the three. Yep, we have maybe 1 or 2 guys. Well, also think those guys just get better looks. Kaiser, they really have a scrambling. They move the rock a lot. Um, you know, if Barrett, Brunson, or Grimes are wide open on a catch and shoot, I'm comfortable with those guys shooting the three. I think we got some guys that can hit it. The fact is, a lot of these guys are getting contested shots or they're not getting wide open looks. Um, Randle could be so much more of a decoy if he gets downhill. You know, gets the defense collapsing and kicks it out. Because RJ's been shooting really well from catch and shoot recently. Grimes is getting better catch and shoot. Brunson's decent as well. Obviously, having a center that can't shoot does hurt you. Um, yeah, it does hurt you a lot. Yeah, and Randle's been shooting pretty well from the three, but I also think we're missing a guy, which is what we brought Fournier in to do. Unfortunately, um, I, you know, I think where we are right now, fam, I think the biggest mistake this front office did was the Fournier move. If you think about it, I mean, nobody was up in arms bringing Derrick Rose back. Nobody was up in arms getting Cam Reddish in here for a low cost move. But to have $19 million, a guy that was supposed to be your starting shooting guard, to be DNP right now, a guy that's supposed to be bring a lot of offense, bring a lot of shooting to this team that's sorely missed. I think this front office, one of their biggest failures was the Evan Fournier deal right now. There's no two ways about it because it's still what this team needs. We still need the shooting he provides, but defensively, he's the reason why he's not getting played right now. Um, if Evan Fournier was just a slightly better defender, he would probably still be in this rotation as well. That's how sad this thing is right now, man. I know he's not athletic; he's lost a step, but I mean, offensively, he could still help. He could still play 20 minutes off the bench. Um, you know, there are probably some fans that could argue he should still be playing off the bench right now. Evan Fournier, right? 18 minutes off the bench, that can't kill you. I know he's struggling defensively, but I mean, Evan's a pro. Sherwin says we need to buy him out. I wouldn't mind that, but I think we could probably try to use his salary, fam, to absorb that into another bigger deal. The Lakers might need shooting. I think we just need to hope and pray that a team that needs shooting badly is happy to take Fournier for a no return trade. Where we just get trade him for a neutral return, basically another expiring salary. That maybe helps us in another department. Like Dirty hits on as well. I like OG, but yeah, I feel like we need to aim higher for our assets right there, fam. Yep, kind of agree with that. Um, and also sometimes the best move is no move in terms of no big move. The Knicks will definitely make some supplementary moves to improve the roster for this playoff run. I got no doubt about it. But we may not need to try to make that big splash right now. Remember, Donovan Mitchell is an unrestricted free agent in 1.5 seasons from now, ladies and gentlemen. Again, if we could just absorb or sign Donovan Mitchell with cap space in 1.5 years from now, if RJ and Grimes develop even more, let's say Brunson, Randle here or he's gone, we add another clear talent upgrade like that, then we move ourselves, I think, into the next tier of teams right now. So my point is we may not need to rush into making that big splash right now, but we definitely need to make some upgrades, offensively from the bench and defensively as well. Also, I want to see our guys play, learn from film. This drop coverage ain't it right now, man. We need to learn from that. Just do man to man, zone even, man. Play some zone with that situation. Yeah, look, the Obi draft it definitely is hurting us right now in terms of having Randle and Obi. Like Almighty says, man, that's definitely set us back. No lies. Um, you know, my opinion's changed a little bit throughout the season. While we're seeing Randle return to all-star form, I would still prefer Obi. I'm just an Obi fan, but I'm not as much of a fan of keeping him as I was at the start of the year. Now I see if this is the kind of Randle we got, it serves us no purpose to keep Obi right now, man. We're losing value on the dollar every single day right now. And now the man's is injured. Supposed to be not too serious. He's running in the pool. But man, that's a costly draft right now. We're missing that, man. Yeah, if we're going all in, ante up with our chips, we need to come out with that true blue superstar. If not, we just got to go into the draft, try to pull a rabbit out of the hat. Yep, on point, Kaiser, with that situation, man. Let's hope Leon Rose can pull that magic trick on the draft night. Maybe get us up in the draft as well, because they best believe there's some clear prospects, man. Some true blue guys in this draft coming up. We just need to stay the course, ladies and gents. Let's just stay the course because we all know this team's weakness. But like I said, it doesn't mean we need to jump off the ledge and make an all-in move. That's not necessary right now. I hope we don't do this Tobias Harris thing. Um, you know, I don't even know why Philly would be trying to move him right now. They're trying to make a run for a championship as well. So maybe they're worried that James Harden's going to leave, and maybe they're going to want to stock up some more draft picks. But who knows? Like I said, in terms of being patient, we just need to build this thing into being a solid team. Then free agents will start to look at us different. We are working towards changing our perception around the league. We're definitely a tough team right now. I think teams are respecting us a lot more, but they know our weakness. In terms of that, if Randle and Brunson are playing like an all-star, that's good. That means maybe a third guy looks at this team and be like, okay, I could go to them. I could help take them over the top, like a Jalen Brown, like Almighty Finesse says. He would clearly change this team, man. Yep. The issue is I don't know how many players are going to line up and look at Randle and that situation with Brunson. There may not be a whole heap of guys like that. Maybe, it's pie in the sky, but we could hope that maybe a Joel Embiid, maybe things have to get blown up in Philly. Like I said, Donovan Mitchell talk, that's not going to go away, fam. Let's be real. Do you guys really feel like Cleveland is going to win the championship this year? Do you really feel that's going to happen? Do you really feel like Cleveland's going to win the championship next year? Well, Donovan Mitchell's going to be a free agent in 1.5 seasons from now. So he's definitely going to test unrestricted free agency because he's going to be 27, 28 years old and have never been a free agent. So he's definitely going to get meetings with the Knicks. He's talked about wanting to play at home, all of that stuff. So yeah, Leon Rose may need to keep this thing flexible. Yep. The Lakers just released a better shooter than Fournier. Yeah, Matt Ryan. That's interesting, fam. Like I said, I think it'd be a package deal. I think it'd be a Fournier and Cam. I don't think the Lakers would just want Fournier by himself, man. Will says, yeah, Sadiq Bey, man. If he's gettable, get him. Yep. Sadiq Bey would be a guy I would trade 1 first-round pick for. Yep. He fits the timeline. He's young, and he fits the position. Yep. That'd be a handful. You're looking at a Brunson, RJ, Sadiq Bey, Randle, Mitch unit. That definitely improves us a lot. Yep, Kaiser's on board with Jalen Brown. Sign me up, fam. Yep. Time's ticking on the Celtics right now, man. Time's ticking on a lot of these teams. Best believe that. Philly, this is their last window. If James Harden ups out of there, they're done. They're done for, man. Make no mistake about it as well. They gave us the L today, but if Harden's out of there and it's just Embiid, Tobias Harris, that that process is now no longer with that situation, man. Yep. Yeah, it's frustrating, dirty. Giving these shooters any kind of daylight is the last thing you want to do in the modern NBA at that drop coverage, the pick and pop situation. It's a great play. It's one of my favorite plays, to be honest, in the modern NBA. The game's changed so much. The pick and roll isn't always a player rolling to the cup. If you have a guy that can pick and pop as well, it's deadly. Uh, I loved our offense with Kristaps Porzingis. Uh, when we had prime Kristaps Porzingis as well, that was unguardable right there, with the pick and pop with KP. Um, if we had a prime Brunson that we have right now playing with a prime KP, that would be a deadly duo right there. Salute Frederick. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas out here, Knicks Nation. The trade buzz is buzzing right now. Smash that like button. We all here chopping it up. We couldn't get this dub today. The Knicks let us down, but we lost to a better opponent. Man, I can't be mad at it today. I'm not as mad today as I were, the last two losses right now. But we've definitely hit another fork in the road. And Leon Rose, this squad needs to make some adjustments right now. Let's see how we do against Dallas. If we were to lose against Dallas, and we'll look at the road ahead more in depth, but if we lose to Dallas and that's a 4-game skid heading into San Antonio, Houston, we're definitely going to see something happen. We're definitely going to see something happen, but we do play better on the road. And we definitely get up for Dallas, man. Look for Juju Randle putting his name in an all-star contention to come out and look like a superstar in Dallas, ladies and gentlemen. This is my gym. Remember Julius? This is my gym. Julius Randle playing in Dallas. Yeah. The one thing about this front office, B and chat, they all got us guessing right now because where we are, we're exceeding some expectations, and we're also in a situation where we've got a crazy draft coming up. So what do we do? Does the front office want to keep some of these picks, or do they feel like this season is a mirage, and and they want to make an all-in move right this season, man. Hannah, salute. How we doing? Coming from 8-game winning streak, these games hurt more. Gets emotional, right? We're a 500 team. We're right where we're supposed to be. Have to be patient. Make some moves in the off season. Yeah, I think bigger moves will definitely come in the off season, fam. Draft night. Um, but I think it would be front office malpractice to not make some kind of upgrade or not make some kind of decent move because of these roster spots, these dead roster spots as well. We can't continue to keep Evan Fournier if he's not playing. Cam Reddish as well, and Derrick Rose. If we can turn them into a piece for the future or a piece that's going to help us this season, I think we have to do it. I think they will do it. With that said, but like you said, I agree with the summer and the draft coming up. That's where we're going to see bigger moves. Yeah, best believe that. And this season's still been going in the right direction for me. This season has the possibility, the potential to become a huge success. Still, look at it. We've repaired Julius Randle's value back from where he was. Jalen Brunson's been every bit we hoped. RJ Barrett been a little disappointing for me, as a whole, but picked things up recently. So there's still potential for him to finish the season hot. Quickly's coming along, but Obi's been a disappointment with his injury situation. Quentin Grimes has been a positive this season. So there's been more positives than negatives for me. That's my feeling this season. Yeah, like Dirty hits on, even these contenders have drama right now. So we have to be thankful that, this season could have been much worse. let's say Jalen Brunson came out and looked awful. Randle was still the Randle from last year. All of that stuff, we'd be definitely looking in a worse situation. I know a lot of fans want to build it through the draft, but we're still in a good position. There's a lot of depth in this draft. We've got 2 first-round picks with Dallas and our own, and we're able to make some pretty big upgrades, I feel. Maybe they're not going to be those top 5, top 10 guys, but I think we can still add some great talent. And yeah, with Philly, man, James Harden was questioned at the press conference after today's big win. And what did he say, man? He got aggravated, man. He got angry. He's like, man, why are you asking me that on Christmas? I'm like, man, don't shoot the messenger, shoot Woj. He dropped that bomb right before the game, and it was crazy right there. But, something just didn't add up in Philly anyway. Like, we could all see this happening right there. I mean, Harden has struggled to get along with a lot of players, man. He wants to be the man still, 33 years of age. Embiid's the man. That's the truth right there. That's Embiid's franchise. Also, sorry, let's not forget Tyrese Maxey. Well, so they got a great building block for the future with Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid. And if Harden was to skip up out of there, that would free up a lot of salary space for Philly, where they could add another fish, Maybe they would be in the Donovan Mitchell sweepstakes, Tyrese Maxey, Donovan Mitchell, and Joel Embiid would be another problem in the East. So yeah, if I was them, I wouldn't be too worried if Harden leaves. Maybe they trade him. Kaiser says, yeah, we just got to wait, and Spider wants to be back home. Yeah. Not that I feel like that's the best move the Knicks could do, but I'm a fan of signing players as a free agent. I think one of the reasons our franchise is trending in the right direction is we got a talent like Jalen Brunson, basically for cap space. So we can add another all-star type talent for cap space without bleeding any of our assets. We're in a great position. Not saying those players are going to get us over the top, but if you have these draft picks that you can use to then add more talent on top of that, as well as having those guys locked up, then you're really in a window of a situation where you can be good for a decade. So yeah. Dirty says there, Sadiq Bey hasn't had the greatest season, but was nice last year as well. Yeah, I think Detroit are still in a flux right now, trying to figure things out with incorporating their talent, Ivy, Cade, Duren, and that. I think Sadiq Bey's had less touches this season, but I'd buy low on him all day, every day. Yep. To me, he's shown enough to be something that of a third option, on a great team, and he could definitely help us a lot. The issue is if they want an unprotected first for Sadiq, no thanks. Yep. No thanks. Yep. Almighty hits us with the tough question, man. Would y'all want Harden on this team? Man, who am I to say no to talent, man? I'm not fussy up in here. The issue is his age, fam. Timeline-wise, he doesn't fit us right now. There's a difference. I think he's not a kind of a KD guy that's going to age well. KD at 35, 36 is still a walking bucket, a mismatch. But a 35, 36-year-old James Harden scares me, man. Scares me to death. Because, he's shown a tendency to, put on weight, get injuries, soft tissue injuries with the hammy, the calf, all of that stuff as well. Do I think he'd be interested in New York? I mean, he might give us a look. If we cleared the cap space. The thing is, and we may as well talk about this right now, in terms of the long-term projection of this team, Leon Rose, all these connections, he's definitely going to have to land somebody, some connection's going to pay off like it did with Brunson, whether it's a Spider, whether it's a Booker, whether it's a Harden, an Embiid. I think we're going to luck out eventually with somebody. That's my feeling towards this thing. Um, eventually with CAA and the money we have, and if we're looking decent, if we're a 6th seed, a 5th seed, maybe a tough out in the playoffs, Randle continues his play, Brunson continues to play well. I could see a superstar taking our money. How soon? Maybe in the next 2 seasons. Let's see. Let's see. The thing is, we still got a package. We still got the Godfather package that not a lot of teams have. You talk about OKC, they've got a Godfather package, but they're yet to be in a position where they look like they're going to do it. SGA's playing amazing, but in terms of the tough West, I don't know if OKC ever make that Godfather package for a superstar or two. With that said, how many other teams have all those picks? Minnesota gave them all away. The Clippers are stuck right now. They gave everything away. The Lakers don't have nothing. The Phoenix Suns are capped out. Milwaukee Bucks are pretty much capped out. Cleveland made their move. Cleveland gave away all their assets. So you guys tell me in the chat which teams in the league right now have a package that could match the Knicks Godfather package right now if a player became available via trade right now. I mean, especially with the way Julius Randle's playing, I would have liked Obi Toppin's value to be up a little bit more. I think this injury sets things back a little. RJ Barrett, in a big package, his name might have to go, but I think with the draft picks, with maybe we do have to end up parting with a Quentin Grimes. Utah, OKC, says Dirty. Yep, definitely. I feel like OKC is not in that situation to do it yet. Utah may be, as they look pretty decent still. But even then, I think those 2 teams are happy to continue to build through the draft right now. If a guy became available in a year or two, it'd be interesting. Like Almighty just said with Harden, let's say Philly got spooked and they put James Harden on the trade block this summer, or this trade deadline as well, and then James Harden promised that he would extend with the Knicks. So you got an assurance from Harden that he was going to re-sign with the Knicks, and Philly put him on the block. Right now, I don't see any other team that would go all in on Harden that would be able to match the Knicks package with that situation. But like Kaiser Hitzer, he's probably maybe 1 or 2 more years of his prime. Yet he ain't exactly been no gym rat, and he ain't exactly been healthy, and staying out of the clubs as well, man. Yep. Maybe he wants back in Houston because the clubs hit different, over Philly with that. James Harden also would. I think what would be attractive for Harden with the Knicks is he would be that clear number 1 guy, which is what he's looking to be, I think. Everybody got an ego right now. James Harden would be our number 1 guy. Then it'd be Brunson as the Robin, and Julius as the Alfred kind of situation, or vice versa, whichever way. Harden would ask out for 6 months after getting another 200 million. That's the thing, man. It's so fickle is this league right now, man. Like Brunson really wanted the Knicks, the guy I think we ultimately get, it's not going to be no surprise. It's going to be someone who really wants the Knicks, right? I don't think it's going to be like a guy with 3 or 4 teams to choose, Miami, Philly, and all of that, and he just takes the Knicks money. It's going to be a guy like Spider Mitchell who wants to come, really come back home. Maybe a guy like Devin Booker who flames out in Phoenix, just wants to team up with his agent, Leon Rose, CAA as well. What's his name? James Dolan maybe pull some extra strings, gets him something off court with that. Also, yes, how could we forget New Orleans Pels, baby? They're looking in the next sleeping giant in the NBA right now, man. Absolutely. They've got a package. They could do it. Yep. They could use it and they could do it right now. Win now. Right now. Yep. But yeah, with the Harden situation, 33 years old. That's way older than when we got Melo. It's way older when we got Stat. Yeah, man, too risky. Too risky, man. Like all Dirty says, man, for how many years of a window? 1 or 2 years? No, we can't trade all our assets for that situation, man. I'd rather wait for Spider, in a free agent situation. Yep. Remember with the Knicks, no one can give us nothing on the cheap, right? Facts B, yep. Even when we signed Brunson outright as a free agent, we still got to pay that NBA tampering tax, baby. Let that sink in, man. That got me sick right there, man. Not only do other GMs, Prez try to fleece us, the NBA dock us a pick just for signing a hometown hero. Hometown guy, man. Right. Watch us sign Spider in 1 year's time and they investigate us for tampering, because he's from Westchester as well. They're going to look up everyone's phone records for the last 3 years. This thing's crazy. Right here, man. We get nothing on the cheap. Right there, man. Also, I don't know if you guys have seen the news, but the MSG James Dolan Sphere Stadium in Vegas is about to be complete soon, man. It's a $2 billion stadium, man. In Vegas, can hold 17,500 people. I don't know if that's going to be the stadium for the expansion team, but there was the rumors, man, and 1 year ago, once that project's complete, James Dolan might look to sell the Knicks. Let's see what happens with that situation, man, because that's a heck of a lot of money spent on that, man. Although he did get a sale for the Forum in Inglewood, he definitely did sell the Forum. I think got some extra money from that situation. I'd love to see how much money the Knicks are making right now, man. Look out for these playoff tickets, man, to hit different. If the Knicks make the playoffs this season, man, the playoff tickets are going to hit everyone different this season, man. Especially missing out on the playoffs last season, we know we usually see a hike. We usually see a hike with that. Also, look out for the MSG direct to consumer streaming product to launch any week now, baby. We were told in the third quarter of the financial year, as we hit 2023, there's going to be an MSG app, where you could ditch your cable cutter and you could ditch your league pass, right, and get MSG direct. It's going to be interesting to see how much that costs, with that situation. All these lefties, man. Tarnell in the house, salute. I don't want to be a bad guy, but it seems like New York sports is dead right now, and the Knicks don't have home court advantage. Refs call whatever they want. Yeah. In terms of your second part of that comment, man, I agree. It just irks me, man. I guess MSG is always that grand stage. Tourists and people out of town always want to see the Knicks. I don't think we'll ever get that true home court advantage, especially because the stars want to show out. It's just crazy right now. It's all about money with this situation. It's just so disappointing, man. I feel like when we had 6,000 diehards, when COVID finished, the lockdowns finished, and the Knicks had 2,000 people, 6,000 people in MSG. That the crowd was insane for that one. But now it's just like, especially the last game. Today was Christmas, so I can't quite, use that as an example. But Remember the Toronto the Bulls loss? Oh, I remember watching it thinking, I can't hear the crowd at all. It was dead silence right there. It wasn't like it was a dead game. It was close. It was bucket versus bucket, and there was nothing right now. There was, players shooting free throws from the other team, and there was no thunder sticks, no noise, no nothing. It's crazy. And these people are paid crazy money as well, man. If I paid that kind of money, if I'm in the garden, I'm screaming for 48 minutes as well. Um, Harden and Brunson, it would equal the worst perimeter D in the league. Man, you're on point with that situation, man. Man, that'd be crazy, Will. Yeah, now that I think about that again, yep, definitely going another direction, man. Um, but in terms of our future movements, flexibility, yeah, we're on a nice timeline. We got really nobody over 30, nobody really over 28 years old. So, um, we keep saying it, but we've got some extra flexibility. Let's see what happens right now. But I'm a fan of adding talent through the draft, man. Look at Quentin Grimes, Deuce McBride, Jericho Sims, Mitchell Robinson. We drafted. We signed Julius and Brunson via free agency. It'd be nice if we signed our big fish via free agency as well and kept all our assets as well. Dolan has been staying out of the way, but most people do refer to his philosophy. The philosophy is to stick to the close connections. It does limit things the way we're going, man. CAA. Um, yeah, let's just see how flexible they end up being. Also, like Andrew K hits on, appreciate you, 8 in a row for Philly as well. They're tough right now. They're on a tear. Um, there was always going to be a situation where teams picked it up, and they're definitely picking it up, man. Talking about stealing our 8-game win streak now. Philly. See, today's loss and what could have been a win would have been a 2-game swing our way, which now is a 2-game swing in Philly's way. So Philly moved to 20-12 in 5th seed, and we're still in outright 6th seed at 18-16 right now. But unfortunately, the Atlanta Hawks in 7 seed are at 17-16. So they're only 1 win away from tying us, basically. So we let a great position slip with the Bulls and with the Toronto loss. Tonight I never really expected us to win. It would have been a nice Christmas treat, but it was really the Bulls and the Raptors loss that killed us, man. Killed us. Also, let's not forget about the Indiana Pacers in 8th. They're at 17-16 as well, ladies and gentlemen. Let that sink in. So also, yeah, the Pacers are 1 win away from being in a tie, 6 to 7 and 8 seed, all being tied with that. So man, um, yeah, look, with that situation, what are you guys hoping for the rest of this season? Because I was saying it ain't about the wins and losses, but I'm a prisoner of the moment now. We've exceeded some expectations, and I want to continue to see these young players play more and develop. But it's tough to just sit back and take losses. Sit back and take losses now. We're too far gone to tank. I wouldn't be mad at getting losses if we were like 12-20 right now, but we've got too many wins already, man. We may as well push towards a play-in, playoff, and try to get some valuable playoff experience. Try to add some young talent and shed some of these contracts. You know, um, like B says, a lot of fans were looking to this for the start of the season, man. Let's look the other way. The draft, some crazy difference makers, right there as well. The Knicks punted out of the last draft. Imagine if they were to do that again. to trade our 2 picks for another veteran. Imagine that, man. With that situation, man. Imagine if the Knicks traded 1 or 2 of their picks for Tobias Harris in this draft, man. Um, that's what scares me, to be honest, as well. The closer we are to being a decent team and being up there in the East, the more itchy Leon Rose, James Dolan is going to get to make, a splash, And we all know what the splash means. It could be the wrong kind of splash, man. Um, with that situation, yeah, the Pacers are looking real nice, man. Backcourt of the future with Halliburton, Mathurin right there as well. Who would have thought that they would be where they're at, man? One loss from the Knicks right now. I mean, but they've still got some solid veterans, Buddy Hield and Miles Turner. Looks like they're going to extend Turner, which is crazy. I thought he was all but traded, was Miles Turner, but I guess exceeding expectations now. They're happy with their backcourt and Buddy Hield, some veterans. Let's see what they do. How ironic is it, though, that the Pacers finally decide for the first time in 20 years to miss the playoffs and trade some guys away, Malcolm Brogdon and etc. And what happens? They end up in the playoffs again, right? They don't even miss a year of the playoffs, man. Let that sink in. The Indiana Pacers are like the Spurs. They're just always relevant somehow, some way. Man, it's crazy right there, man. The way they managed to hang around. But of course, if you luck up on talent like Benedict, Halliburton as well, trading Sabonis, um, talk about a trade that's worked out for both teams. Sacramento looking good, and Indiana looking good. Yeah, Dirty says the truth is if we ever want that superstar, it probably means trading out someone we love, like Brunson. Which is why I'm a fan of the free agency move, fam, like you said. But unfortunately, you can't decide, you can't predict when a team is going to try to trade a star as well. You just have to be ready. But that's why we're stockpiling assets too, so that we don't end up with nothing, I think. Even if we do have to make that big trade, we still got some pieces left, I think. Some remnants, I'll give an update shortly on Rokas because I've been keeping my eye out on how Rokas is doing in Europe. He's getting some backup minutes, developing nicely. One might think he's a piece that the Knicks want to keep around for a few years and then bring him in, after our assets are depleted. Or maybe, guys like Deuce McBride, reason why they're developing him now is, their feeling is maybe when they make that big trade, they're going to need some of these depth guys to step up. Also, don't know if the front office is that cold-blooded enough to get a tier 1 star. Truth is, they don't grow on trees. They're difficult for everybody right now. Look at the way Toronto's developed. Pascal, they found him, developed him. Fred Van Vliet, they developed him from the G League to becoming their superstar. So some of these teams haven't gone out and found that tier 1 star. They've or traded for a tier 1 star. They've developed them. They did get Kawhi as well. They had the homegrown guy, DeMar. So yeah, each team's done it differently. I think the OKC, the Pelicans route, obviously if you get lucky in the draft high up, you can get game-changing talent. Just one draft, ladies and gentlemen, like the Indiana Pacers, can change your fortune for good right now. Like Indiana were predicted to be the worst team in the league. You hit one talent like that, also with a trade, and now they're set, man. So I think there's always that chance for the Knicks to luck out in the draft, get that guy. But we really need to be in the top 10, I think, to have the best chance. And with that situation, we're racking up a lot of wins. I think the Knicks' best chance is probably just to try to be a decent playoff team, be attractive, and then hope that a guy, his days are numbered with his team, and then he picks the Knicks like a spider. Let's watch out to see what happens with Booker in a year or two. Also, Minnesota. Not that I want Carl Towns or nothing like that, but I'm just looking at that team as being another team that if they struggle in the next 2 years, they might have to do something. They might have to do something with that. Yep. B says we need that player with brute force, not finesse, that can space the floor as well. Yeah, we need some toughness. Yep. We need some toughness defensively. We need extra depth and shooters as well. I talked about this again and again, but I hate when teams use zone on us. I mean, that lets you know that's the other team telling you what your weakness is right now. If you're a good shooting team, teams won't go zone on you. It just won't happen. Really, I don't really see great teams get use zone against right now. So yeah, with that said, man, I hope RJ Barrett's shooting continues to grow. Quentin Grimes needs to get more shots, and we need to keep the ball moving. Like tonight, it was pleasing for 2 quarters, to put 37 up on Philly in the first quarter and to put 33 up in the third quarter was great. That's setting yourself up to win. But 26 points in the second quarter, 16 points in the fourth. It's not going to get it done. Not going to get it done. They hit some tough shots. I mean, we only lost by 7 with James Harden hitting logo pull-ups. Georges Niang getting wide open threes. So yeah, the Knicks hang tough. We're just a piece or two away from hanging with these teams, Yeah, B says I don't know what's going to happen with Tobias. Maybe as his deal gets closer to expiring, maybe they look to to move him, fam. For that situation, let's see, fam. Knicks will be 26 champs. Appreciate. Let's hope. Knicks fans need to keep the same energy during this 3-game skid as they did during the 8-game streak. Right now, yep. Yeah, facts, right? We were beating a lot of easy teams. It felt good. There's no doubt about it. It felt good to pick up all those wins. But with that said, we're still heading in the right direction. We're still in a good position for this season. We've got flexibility. Let's see what this front office can do. Free Svi. We had a lot of chances to play Svi. I don't know what's the deal with that. Yeah, we could do with his shooting, man. We could do with the shooting. Also, I agree with this. This team is what we expected it to be. Damn, I predicted 45 wins. And I think we're still a tough team to beat. It sucks to lose 3 straight now. And no doubt this stretch coming up is tough. But I do feel like the Knicks are still going to hang in with health. Like I said, Julius plays really well on the road. So let's not get too worried. I'm not too down at the moment. This 8-game winning streak really did afford us some opportunities to pick up some losses, as long as we hang around 500 for the next 15, 20 games, wait to see what kind of trades are made. And I did predict that we would finish the season hot towards the end of this season, man. That's what I predicted. But let's address some issues, shooting, toughness, and some extra defense and ball handling right there as well. It's just a damn shame Derrick Rose just isn't close to the Derrick Rose of 2 years ago. Because if we had Derrick Rose of 2 years ago playing alongside Quick off the bench, then that'd be what we need right now. Extra scoring, a dynamic guard that could fill in for Brunson when we need. Man, age caught up to D Rose, man. I don't know what it is. What do you guys think? Is it the injuries? It just seems like from the get-go, they knew something was up with D Rose, Pre-season, played like 7-8 minutes. Something was up from the get-go. Then he was playing 12 minutes. No one quite knew what was up with Derrick, I don't still know what's up with Derrick, other than the only conclusion I can draw is that Derek just age caught up to him. Age caught up to him. Let's see, man. Almighty says, I want to be a playoff team just to be eliminated. I don't want to be that playoff team just to get eliminated. Yeah, you're right. It's tough. But like I said, I think the Knicks still have a chance to win a playoff series. We can't count out the extra experience that Brunson gives. Anyone outside of Milwaukee, Celtics, Brooklyn, and Philly, I feel good about a 7-game series, as in we have a chance. Look, Cleveland, we've had a great battle with them this season. ATL would be another nice, great battle. A battle against Toronto, I think, would be fair. The Bulls, the Heat. What are your thoughts on that, chat? If we were in a 7-game series against them, the Tobias thing's scary, fam. That could also be Ian Begley or that leak out there to gauge the fan base, gauge the reactions as well. To see what the reception is like. With Tobias. But again, I think this team constantly looks to home connections. Tobias Harris has constantly been interested in coming back to New York, I feel, as well, for a bigger role. I think him and his agent would love a bigger role for the Knicks. Well, in terms of that money, that would have us in a real bad cap situation. But no doubt he would help this team, that wing next to Randle and RJ with Brunson. It would give us a lot more offensive versatility, but not great for floor spacing, I don't feel. That's why I don't get too high. Look what we have on the roster, keeping it a buck. Yeah, no doubt we're doing the best that we could with our roster, man. Nobody thought this roster was complete by any means. The most pleasing thing is we've put ourselves in a position to be more flexible because guys have more value now. Obi's value was looking nice before he got injured, but definitely Julius Randle's value's up. RJ Barrett, I mean, I don't know if he's going to be in any big trade after the signing. Let's see, but I don't think they're going to be making any big move unless it's the summer or draft day. For this deadline, it would shock me. What do you guys feel? It would shock me if the Knicks made a big move in this deadline, man. But that's facts too, Almighty. The 8-game winning streak did give Tibbs more time. Let's see. If we go on in a 5-6 game slide, let's see what happens. Yeah, let's see what happens. Sure, we're not optimistic with the playoff situation. I don't feel like the Knicks would definitely win a series, but I feel like we would have a chance in a 7-game series against either the Heat, the Raptors, the Hawks, the Bulls, Wizards, and the Cleveland Cavaliers as well. I really feel like we'd have a chance, provided we made a little upgrade. Yep. Dirty says, I don't see how one of those top 4 isn't our opponent, though. Yep. That's the big factor in this situation as well, man. Also, crazy things can happen. Maybe an injury. The Philly are super close to the Cavs. Maybe the Cavs ultimately drop down to 5th. Yeah, there's only a few games in it as well. Let's see what happens. There's also turmoil with the Hawks, with Trae Young rumors, DeJounte Murray. Those guys not fitting in the greatest as well. And like my prediction was spot on, that some of these teams were overhyped right now. If you look at some of these bad losses the Knicks have had, right, together with the shortcomings of our roster, to be 18-16 ahead of the Hawks, Pacers, Heat, Raptors, Bulls right now, people would have called me legit delusional if I was to sit here and tell everybody in the summer that the Knicks would be better than those teams, right? With the Hawks getting DeJounte Murray, the Miami Heat, the Raptors' depth, People would have called me delusional if I said the Knicks were better than those guys. But here we are, 18 and 16. Not everything on paper works out for those teams. Raptors in 10th seed, 15 and 18. Masai Ujiri doesn't mess around, right? He might be tempted to blow that thing up, to gauge OG Anunoby's market value, and let's say a team offers 2 unprotecteds for OG. Maybe Masai is just like, man, to hell with this. We're not going to win a chip. 15 and 18, 10th seed. What good's a play-in spot going to do for us? So there's a lot to happen still. I think some of these teams are going to blow it up. The Bulls are definitely going to blow it up, I feel. The Bulls are in 11th spot, not even in a play-in spot. 14 and 18, capped out right now. They're only a few losses away from 12th, where the Wizards are. Bradley Beal's back. Let's say Bradley Beal goes on a tear, together with the Magic, a 13 and 21, tied with the Wizards as well. You know what? If the Bulls lost just a couple games in a row, and the Wizards and Magic won a couple games in a row, the Bulls can find themselves third last in the East, and very much in the Victor Wembanyama sweepstakes. Let that sink in as well. So they might think about trading Zach LaVine away. They might think about trading DeMar DeRozan to Los Angeles for 2 picks. Imagine that. Sherwin says the Hawks is a play-in team. Yes, facts. Spitting truth, man. Let's see that blow up in their face, man. John Collins disgruntled as well, trying to find chemistry, cohesion, man. Yeah, Shah mentioned Crowder and Eric Gordon. How do I feel about that? Yeah, I like Eric Gordon. I think he'd be the right kind of upgrade that we need right now, Shah. But 2 second-round picks, maybe. No first-round pick at all. If I could get Eric Gordon, give them Cam Reddish in a couple of seconds, then definitely, man. Yep, sign me up, man. Oh, man, no doubt I'm getting ready, fam. The draft lottery's in 3 months. Get ready. A little bit more than 3 months, I think, man. I think the draft lottery's in May. That's about 4 or 5 months, but definitely in January I'm going to be doing a draft preview show for looking at the draft class with some guests on. In February I'll be doing a March Madness preview with some prospects, some Knicks prospects to look out for, because we'll definitely know where the Knicks seeding's looking like by February, March. We'll definitely know more about the Knicks' potential seeding. Yep. Bobby would be nice. Yep. Let's see, man. If we gave them Cam Reddish and D Rose, we could get back a Portis. Be interesting. That's the only thing is that's going to take minutes from Obi, unless you play Bobby at the stretch five situation. The Knicks are better than those guys for now. Yep. We've been so unlucky in the draft lottery that bouncing up from 1 to 1 from 14 would be karmic justice, man. We'd be dancing on the table if that happened, man. Also, we'll keep an eye out on the Dallas selection, fam, because they won today. But yeah, the Dallas pick is better than our own pick right now as well. So that Dallas pick could get us a top 15 pick still, which is still in the lottery. So make no mistake about it, fam. We may not get a Victor Wembanyama or Scoot Henderson or the Thompson twins kind of guys, but if we found Quentin Grimes with the 25th pick, and we end up with a pick around the 15 to 17 range in this draft, we could definitely find ourselves a potential all-star, a potential impactful starting player with that situation, which would still push our franchise forward, as well as our own pick as well. We need to find a diamond in the rough, man. Yep. We need to be at least 8th, so we get 2 cracks at the playoffs for sure. Yep. Yeah, no doubt about it, fam. I forgot about that. Yeah, if you're 7th or 8th, yeah, you can afford to lose a game, can't you? And then you get another chance as well. I forgot about that. Yep. That's the issue, yeah. If they try to trade OG, they're definitely looking to bottom out, fam. With that, let's not forget about Fred VanVleet getting older as well. So, um, beautiful basketball mind is Masai Ujiri. Just when you think Toronto's going to do what people think they're going to do, this guy doesn't mess around. Trust me, this guy's looking for that next game changer, and he's looking at Victor Wembanyama. Make no mistake about it, fam. Uh, he found, Pascal Siakam from Cameroon. You know, he knows what it's like to find undiscovered talent. Um, Nick Yak, yeah, when Brunson went out, so did our direction and offense. It's tough. Um, as you say that, I feel like this team's probably like the Melo teams. It's like, remember when Carmelo Anthony would miss a game, and it's like we barely had any chance to win. It's like that with Brunson. We rely so heavily on Brunson that if Brunson's out, it's like we're basically a lottery team right now. That's why some people's actually making a case for Brunson to be an all-star, man. I mean, sorry, not an all-star, MVP. Because you take Brunson out of this squad, we're a lottery team. Make no mistake about it right now. That's how much we rely on him. So that just goes to tell you how, we are overachieving and exceeding expectations. But we're so light in depth. You take one guy away, and we show our true colors, man. We show our true colors. What we really do need to find is try to pull off that trade for a guy like Sadiq Bey, who's on the come up. You trade for a guy that becomes the next big guy, and people look at you like, man, how did they get him? How did they get him? So in other words, we try to trade for a guy whose market's not too inflated, you know, who's ready to pop. Um, if we had 2 mid-first round picks, I'd near guarantee they take Taquavian Smith with one of them. Yeah, as long as it's someone who can bring us shot making, right, bona fide shot making. Kaiser don't want no trades yet at the moment. It's tricky to see what's going to happen. Um, what I like to see is those small moves. The buy low moves as well. The Cam Reddish thing didn't work out, although the chapter's not written yet. We might end up getting a protected first back for Cam. We might get a few second rounders, which is what the Charlotte pick would have ended up being anyway. So but it was a nice flyer. It didn't work out. Let's see, let's see what else we could get. Um, I think they're looking at needs. We definitely need another backup point guard. Look out for the Laker move. I really feel like uh, Patrick Beverly, Kendrick Nunn. They're both expiring salaries. We could send Cam to LA. What are your thoughts on that? We bring in a bit of veteran toughness, a guy that can give Brunson a break as well, a character guy as well. B would always like Kevin Love on the team. That's an interesting name. Yep, that's an interesting name. I think he's set in Cleveland for at least this year, fam. But let's see. Let's see, man. Van Vliet only 28 years old. You kidding me? I could have swore that guy was over 30. That's crazy. OG Scotty Barnes play the same position. Old head, salute. Merry Christmas. And yeah, looking for a lot of these teams. They know how stacked it is this season, and the draft is something to behold, man. This draft, this first round, I almost think anyone in the first round in this draft you could catch a break and get an all-star. Because let's not forget, March Madness hasn't even started yet. Player stock rises, player stock falls during March Madness as well. And I really feel like with the Magic's young core helping them win games, man, the Wizards, the Bulls, the Raptors, they're only a couple of losses away from seriously plummeting. I don't know if the Miami Heat have their own pick, but hell, if I was the Miami Heat, I wouldn't bother trying to make the playoffs, at 16 and 17 with Jimmy Butler getting older. Sherwin still sees us as that lottery team with Brunson. Look, it all depends how these guys hold up, man. I could see this thing spiral out of control, and I could also see us, stemming the tide, and hovering around 500, with 25 games to go. And no doubt, if we're a play in, hopefully we get that situation where we have an extra chance. Like I've been saying, as well, fam, at the start of the show, yeah, I think against Spurs and the Rockets is a great chance to sit Brunson. Yep, just start IQ, let McBride play more as well. Heading into the All-Star break as well, give Brunson a rest right now. Detroit don't want Obi and IQ for Sadiq Bey. What do we have to give them? Probably a protected first-round pick, fam. Protected first-round pick. Maybe they want. Maybe they'd take Cam Reddish back. Cam Reddish and a first-round pick. We need a 6'8", 6'10" small forward that plays D and knocks down old head on point. Yep. What could have been if that was Mikal Bridges that the Knicks had? Yep. You just described a lotto pick right there, man. Jarvis Williams, salute. You have that in Cam right there. I just think Cam just found himself in the wrong situation. We heard Tom Thibodeau wasn't a fan from the get-go, and that was kind of the writing on the wall. I think Cam got an opportunity because Grimes was out early in the season. I think if Cam's offense and defense was more consistent, he would still be playing. I think Tom Thibodeau gave him that chance, and I think they just weren't happy with what they saw. But yeah, I don't see Cam getting in anymore. I think if Evan Fournier ain't playing, a guy that they given $19 million to, if they're happy to let him sit, they're definitely happy to let Cam sit as well. But if they want to rectify this thing, they better make a move fast, because if we keep losing, let's say we lose 2 out of the next 2 coming up, and we're on a 5-game skid, then that's going to be a situation where there's going to be more Tom Thibodeau firing talks. Old Head says Beverly so overrated, like Jay Crowder, PJ Tucker. Yep, I think he would be adding toughness. Maybe some mentorship. A guy that could spell Brunson for a bit. But yeah, I think his game's a bit washed. Kendrick Nunn, though, if he could stay healthy, he could help this team. But yeah, truth is, if we trade Cam, I don't know how much we're gonna get back, fam. Maybe a second rounder, maybe a couple extra second rounders. Let's see. The issue is Cam ain't playing now. That's hurting his value. Cam Reddish's trade value was pretty decent at one point. When he was playing well, putting up points. Now he's been DNP for like 10, 15 games, and it's like, yes, he does have a market, but some of these teams know he's not playing with us. So that's not helping us to get that stock up, I mean, if you're LA or Miami or Milwaukee, what's going to tempt you to give up more than 1 second rounder for a player that the Knicks aren't even using? And he's expiring as well, man. Hartenstein, yeah, $8 million for Hartenstein. That's looking like a bad signing in terms of the money. I don't know how many teams are offering that kind of money to him, but with Sims, again, yeah, this front office has made some bad free agent signings. That's for sure, man. The Evan Fournier one to me was by far the worst move they've done. Um, like I said, Alec Burks at least gave you production. One could argue he was a bit overpaid. Derrick Rose maybe a bit overpaid, but Derrick Rose was the catalyst 2 years ago, so they rewarded him. But to give a guy 18, $19 million in his second year, ain't even playing, that hurts you, man. Like I said, man, $19 million, that could be a guy like Sadiq Bey on this team right now. That could be a guy like Kyle Kuzma on this team right now, instead of a guy that's not even playing right now, man. But also, yeah, what I do want to highlight is chemistry is another thing. Like, everyone thought DeJounte Murray, was going to change the fortunes of Atlanta. Well, 17 and 16, issues with Trae Young. Talk about John Collins being on the block again. They traded Kevin Huerter, DeAndre Hunter. I don't know what's happening with him. The Atlanta Hawks window, ladies and gentlemen, that's not impressing me right now, man. When you got Philly, Brooklyn, Cleveland, Bucks, and Celtics all ahead of them, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Trae Young, man. Look out for that. That's something that's serious, I think, because it's what was it the third or fourth year now with Trae Young? Nothing's happening. They're not winning. Not only that, they're not even better than the Knicks right now. They've supposedly got two All-Stars with Trae and with DeJounte, and they need to pick things up quick right now, man. They're equal tied with Indiana, a team that was predicted to be the worst team in the league, Indiana. So, yeah, the Atlanta Hawks are definitely probably the surprise for me. The Bulls, the Raptors, the Heat, I kind of expected to be not as good. The Wizards ain't no surprise, They're forever delusional, trying to build around Bradley Beal as well. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing, man. They just need to rip that Band-Aid off, man, and trade Bradley Beal once and for all, you know, for three unprotected picks. I mean, yeah, I don't know what Washington's doing, man. If you look at it, if Minnesota gave up 5 first rounders for Rudy Gobert, man, imagine what Washington could have got if they put Bradley Beal on the block, man. Especially from Boston, with Jalen Brown was put on the block. Talk that they want to pair Beal up with Jason Tatum, the St. Louis boys, as well. I really feel like the Celtics probably would have traded Jalen Brown if Bradley Beal was on the block as well. That would have kickstarted, the Washington's rebuild right now, man. Yep, Kaiser, that's the problem. They don't cash in our assets when their value is up. We should have cashed in Randle too while he's playing good. Randle, like that Randle situation's tough because at least his salary's not too bad. I think there's going to be more opportunities to trade Randle. But the issue with Cam was, the salary's expiring as well. We gave up Knox, which is no big deal, and we gave up the Charlotte pick, which is no big deal either. I think it was a good buy low deal, but it was front office malpractice because Tom Thibodeau, Leon weren't on the same page, with that, man. Drip more salute. What's good, fam? So yeah, chopping up the future direction of this thing, man, because today's loss, I'm not mad at it. We went toe to toe with Philly. We just didn't have enough horses down the stretch. Some turnovers, some mistakes, and some missed assignments, letting George's Niang go off. James Harden played like an all-star. Embiid played like an all-star. And they got the rub of the green with the refs as well. We had a very impressive first and third quarter, but it was the second quarter and the fourth quarter that killed the Knicks, basically. But we're playing against a team that's contending right now. So, yeah, I can't be mad at today. It was the Chicago and the Toronto losses, man, that killed us, man. But, looking ahead, I feel good about our chances in Dallas, San Antonio, Houston. that's going to be a real test for this team. If we're a legit playoff team, we need to go into Texas and pull out 2 out of the 3. Anything less than 2 out of these 3 would be a failure as well, because we're trying to, rectify this skid right now. Julius plays well in Dallas. That's his home, man. This is my gym. Is Julius Randle. This is my gym. Jalen Brunson's return to the American Airlines Center as well. So that's going to be very interesting, man. The tampering sanction handed down on the Knicks, which was no big deal. But Luka Doncic going to want to try to show Jalen Brunson up, man, for leaving me high and dry as well. Julius Randle coming back in fired up, trying to make a case for an all-star situation. So, yeah, I feel confident about the Dallas game. San Antonio and Houston. Realistically, the Knicks should sweep these 3, man. Realistically, in my opinion. Then, of course, we head back to the Garden for the lone game where Devin Booker and CP3 come into MSG as well. Let's hope we're on a 4-game potential winning streak with that situation, because then we have the Spurs, the Raptors as well. So, yeah. Look for, I think out of the next 5, I think we could go at least 3-2. At least 3-2, get back up to 3 games over 500, right? And let's see what happens with this trade talk. But I would not be shocked if the Knicks make a move in the next 7 days with this situation, because without Rose, Fournier, and Cam playing any minutes, they're definitely talking to teams, man. Every single team in the league right now. Don't forget, Leon Rose makes a trade early every single season. He's been in charge with this situation, with Rose, with Cam, and now with guys banged up, with depth issues, and these guys wanting a new home. I think it makes sense, man. Let's see. Joseph, what's good? Salute. Says Porzingis over RJ, man. That's tough. Porzingis can't stay healthy. But yeah, Porzingis, the talent, what he's shown is an all-star. Porzingis with the Knicks, when healthy, was an all-star. RJ Barrett's yet to be an all-star. Yeah, Randle going anywhere now is just ridiculous. We didn't entertain that when he was miserable. Yeah, I think Randle is here to stay for a little bit. I think for a little bit, man. I think they're keen to see with Brunson, Randle, RJ, and then with cap space to see if they can bring in a 4th guy. I hope that 4th guy ain't Tobias Harris. Again, we need to be mindful if Donovan Mitchell tests free agency in 1.5 years, we need to be ready. Yeah, the Charlotte pick likely was going to turn into 2 seconds, right? It makes it easier, but it was still a bad process. Yep, with Cam. Yep, not giving him a chance, man. So yeah, that's my honest thoughts. I think Brunson, Randle's here to stay. I think RJ's still here to stay, but in a blockbuster deal, RJ's name would still have to be brought up. But I think with the cap space that Rose and Fournier and Cam would free up, that would ideally get us another, minor max contract slot. Maybe we could, absorb or sign someone within that situation now. Jet Life, not a fan of RJ, calling him a bum. He only plays well when we play bad teams, man. Man, I feel your frustration in terms of RJ's consistency. I just have to keep telling myself he's 22 years old, man. But I haven't seen the improvement I would hope to see. But I've let go of the fact that he's the 3rd overall selection now. I think RJ for me bottoms out at the 2nd, 3rd best player, on a good team. But let's see what he does, man. I'm evaluating every single game from here on out for the rest of this season. I'm evaluating everybody. And like I said, I feel like Brunson and Randle are giving us exactly what they're going to give us. I don't think they could give us anything more. They are who they are. But RJ Barrett is a guy that needs to pick things up for this team to get to that next level To beat a Philadelphia, to beat a Brooklyn, we need more from RJ, more efficiency with that situation. I feel the frustration. I don't feel like he's a bum, but he's got limitations right now, man. He's got limitations. Joseph, would I trade RJ for Porzingis right now? Man, Porzingis can't stay healthy, so I would say no. I would say no. RJ can stay healthy. But if Porzingis was healthy, oh, absolutely. If Porzingis was healthy, I would trade him, Porzingis's game is exactly what we need, a stretch five, that situation. But I just don't think Porzingis will ever be healthy. Could ever be relied upon, to stay healthy. Yep. Thing is, we lost these 3 straight, but we could have won all of them. That's true too. Yep, absolutely. We're in every single game, fam, but yeah, we struggle against these better teams, no doubt about it. Yep. Terra and Mosley in the house, salute. Tibbs got to go. We lost 3 in a row, so do Grimes and McBride change things still? Yeah, it was nice while it was running hot, but thing is the league makes adjustments as well, fam. And like I said in my last show, sometimes in the NBA you just need enough to outscore a team. Defense just doesn't work sometimes as well. If we had enough to outscore Chicago and Toronto, we would have won those games as well. So sometimes, yeah, the Deuce McBride thing off the bench, I like Deuce, but we need more scoring off the bench, man. If we had a hot Derrick Rose with quick off the bench outscoring teams, we would be looking nice right now. So yeah, you can't just lock down teams. You need to outscore teams sometimes. Yep. Yeah, Porzingis was straight different when he was healthy on the Knicks, man. We keep forgetting he was an all-star in his 2nd or 3rd year in the league as well. Before Giannis sent him to the hardwood, and that ACL injury changed his career forever. Kristaps Porzingis was on the ascendancy, man. But let's hope we can find another game-changing talent, man. Let's hope. Again, this draft, free agency, I don't know what this front office is going to prioritize, but something tells me it's not going to be the draft. Something tells me they're still looking to make that big splash right now. What are you guys' thoughts on that? Out of the draft or using cap space to sign a guy or trade? What do you think is more likely for this front office to do, man? I don't think Tom Thibodeau has the patience, man. 36, 38 years, 68 years old. He didn't want no parts of Cam Reddish, that trade. He doesn't look like he's a fan of just mediocrity for a few years, man. I think I'm worried this front office is going to make a Tobias Harris type of deal, or something bigger. Yeah. Old head, we need to draft well. Yeah, no teams are giving up young, good players right now. Yep. Let's see, maybe out of the 2 picks we might have, maybe we make one selection and we trade the other one. I wouldn't be mad at that, as long as we definitely make one first-round pick this year, because it's crazy. Almighty would trade RJ for Trey Murphy up in here, man. That situation. Fan base divided on RJ. Man, talk about a polarizing guy. I'm thinking more towards the front office's thinking, and I feel like they're not married to RJ. Let's be real. I mean, I love RJ, and I still try to hope that he can become an all-star, but I don't know if this front office is married to him like that, man. They didn't select him. Yep. And like I said, I'm evaluating every single game right now. We could keep saying he's 22. Next season, we'll keep saying he's 23. We'll keep saying he's 24 as well. We're waiting on consistency. I recognize it's not the best fit for RJ. Maybe RJ will never reach his ceiling playing next to Brunson and Randle. Truth is, he's never going to get the high usage that some people hope, with that situation. So could RJ's ceiling be met on another team right now? What are your thoughts, man? Tibbs is 64, okay? Yep, he's definitely pushing, man. He's pushing for it. Knicks got to stop playing hero ball with Randle and RJ, but Tibbs don't have what it takes, right, to get the offense clicking, yeah. One thing he has done better, which is, forced them to push the pace. Fam, they're pushing the pace. They're playing faster, and that's what helped us got 37 points in the first quarter as well. A 63 point half, which was nice. But we can't play fast all game. The offense slows down in the fourth as well. That's what has me worried with any playoff series as well. Playoffs is a different animal. You can't just push the ball up the court in a playoff series. As well, becomes a half court game. Yeah, with that. Who's available for trade, fam? Old head. I feel like John Collins is going to be on the block. Maybe Sadiq Bey. I think Charlotte are going to clean house. Charlotte maybe try to trade Terry Rozier, Gordon Hayward. AD's injured, so I don't think the Lakers can trade anyone, really. What else, man? You guys tell me. I don't think there's nothing out there for the Knicks right this season. We've got to wait to the summer. Yeah, like Jorge says, salute. We need to look into this draft, right? If Tibbs doesn't have time for the young guys, he needs to go. Yep, we need to keep it a buck, right? Let's say we make the play-in or the playoffs, so we give Tibbs a chance to make that splash, and we flame out. Then it's time to move on. Yep, it's definitely time to move on with that. Does Quick play more good games or bad games if it's that close? It's that close. It sucks. Yep. Yep. Yeah, it's definitely a situation where he's young. He's looking for a big role. Quick was a late first round pick. They're definitely going to have their flaws. Quick, to me, he's available in a bigger trade. Yep. Things we got to look at the bigger picture with this thing. A move the Knicks could make. I wouldn't be surprised if we got another first round pick for Quick. I could see that happening, to be honest. I'll tell you why. This team's just trying to stockpile assets. Make no mistake about it. We're trying to stockpile assets for that big splash right now, for that Godfather package. Dirty says if they give up on RJ, they better be getting that superstar, because most teams don't trade a 22-year-old scoring on 20 a game right now. Yeah, facts. Yep. And to be true, they did offer RJ in a Donovan deal, but they didn't offer many picks along with that. They had their line in the sand that they drew. So, they're definitely not trying to give RJ away. But if a difference maker like Donovan Mitchell was available, they were definitely offering him. So you could imagine if a player of the similar caliber to a Spider, then RJ's name would be out there again, I think. Yeah. But for now, RJ's going to stay, I feel. If I had to make an educated guess, like I said, I think it's Brunson, Randle, and RJ, and they try to free up another max slot and try to add a true number one to play with these three guys. Then you hope RJ grows to be an all-star, and then you hope Quentin Grimes takes that extra leap together with the other squad, other group guys, and then, yeah, maybe that's your chance. Maybe that's your chance to get up in the top four, and make some noise. Again, some contracts are pretty good. Jalen Brunson's contract is descending, I think, ladies and gentlemen. Or Randle or Brunson's contract is descending as well. So it's going to look good in a few years' time. That's for sure, man. Yep. Charlotte tanking for Wembanyama. Yep, that's smart, man. Yeah, like Dirty says, minor efficiency upticks by RJ would make trading him completely asinine. We just got to see more consistency. But for him to, he doesn't have to do a whole lot just to match that contract, basically. So, but my expectation for RJ is that he's a second to third option, when the Knicks top out with that situation. I do feel like he has clear limitations as well. But one thing's for sure, we need shooting. If you're going to continue with Brunson, Randle, and RJ, you better hope that that star you bring in can shoot the lights out, whether it's Zach LaVine, Donovan Mitchell, someone who's got great long range shot making. I think that's going to open up the floor for RJ and for Juju and for Brunson as well. Yep. Because those guys have a clear strength. They can get to the cup as well. If you add a dynamic guard or wing that has deadly range, that's going to be a good fit for those guys. We need more floor spacing. Well, otherwise, we're going to continue to see this zone issue with the Knicks situation. Also, look for the IQ and Obi situation to come to a head, because one or two of those guys is going to go. I feel with the salary cap the way that it is, and also those two needing a decision. Like Old Head said, man, they got 1 to 2 years left. So do we cash in those assets right now before it becomes too late? Let's be real. We wait one more year, we could probably only get a second round pick for Obi. Team's going to try to finesse us. Yeah, team's going to try to finesse us, man. If we don't make a move with one of those two guys soon, well, because the teams getting them back aren't as getting as much value right now, man. So, yep. Look for this front office to be busy, man. That's my prediction, ladies and gents. I'll bet my house on it that we're going to get busy, because we saw the other night every single guy was in the building, man, watching. It was James Dolan, Worldwide West. It was Leon. It was Gerson Rosas. It was Brock Aller. They were all sitting alongside each other watching right now, man. Every single guy's watching. 3-game skid right now. Pieces that are sitting there DNPing, Evan Fournier. Dolan can't be too happy with that, I don't think. But I don't think Dolan's going to be too happy, with Fournier racking up $18 million sitting on the bench right there. So, yeah, let's see what happens, man. Taj produced, yeah, we do miss a Taj, to be honest with you. A rebounding big that can stretch it a little bit. Yep. Has that J right there. So yeah, you guys tell me, what do you feel like the team's biggest needs are? To me, it's a little bit of ball handling and shooting right now. Defensively, yeah, we could add more defense. Every team could do with that. I just don't know like how much more better we could get defensively. That was our calling card for the 8-game win streak. We just got to play more smart, play with more energy, play with more toughness right now. Tonight we had a few blown assignments. It happens. But we hung with Philly, 112 points. That's enough to win. We just couldn't stop them. 119. James Harden going off. There's not too much you can do, when those guys are hitting those shots. Almighty says 3 and D. Do you think an OG Anunoby gives us 3 and D? Is he going to move this needle forward for us? Dirty says we need a jumbo scoring wing like everyone else. Yep. No doubt matchups hurt us with Pascal and with Zach LaVine. Yep. No doubt about it, fam. If we shut down Zach LaVine and Pascal, we win those 2 games right there as well. When we go up against Giannis and the Bucks, we got no one. We got no one that can slow down Giannis as well. When we go up against Brooklyn, we got no one that can slow down KD as well. Also, what happens with Cleveland? It's going to be very interesting matchup, man. Yep. Upset in Dub Nation. Wow, what's going down, man, with the rest of the games? Let's pull it up right now, man. G Money, appreciate you. How we doing? Dub Nation got the dub over the Grizz. Yep. Well, that is an upset, man. Yep. That is an upset, and the Nuggets about to take on the Suns to wrap up Christmas Day, man. Hope everyone's having a fantastic day, holiday as well. Yeah, Almighty says OG would help us a lot. Yeah, depends what we got to give up. Old Head likes that as well, man. He would be a nice upgrade. Yep. Would I trade Randle or Obi for Jaren Jackson Jr.? Not at this stage. Not at this stage. I would keep what we got for that. Anthony says, Carl Anthony Towns. Yeah, for Derrick Rose, Fournier, Obi to Minnesota. Not the biggest fan of Towns, to be honest with you, man. But I would like some stretch shooting at the 5 spot. But question is toughness with that, man. Yeah, Memphis got smashed. Did they have any injuries, or did everyone play? Yeah, Jaren Jackson Jr. is 23, and he's definitely got a bright future. With that said, but I feel like the Knicks just need to find their own guy in the draft, man. Need to find our own guy in the draft. Let's dip into this crazy draft coming up, and then let's see if Spider becomes available as an unrestricted free agent. Then we don't have to give anything up right now. But I feel like the best thing is to stay patient. Let's see where we can add to this depth for this season, and just play our tails off, see where it takes us. Because there's a lot more twists and turns to come, ladies and gentlemen. Once some teams in the East also decide what direction they're going to go, I think there's going to be less competition for that play-in, play-off spot. I'm talking about the Heat, the Raptors, the Bulls, the Wizards as well. Eventually, they're going to get to a point where it's just too far gone for those teams. I'm talking about the Bulls, Raptors, Wizards, the Heat. Yep. And the Knicks have still got that 6th spot, still eyeing that off as well in a clear playoff spot. That would have us playing the Cleveland Cavaliers, in a 7-game series first up. Well, that'd be great experience for our squad right there, man. 7-game series against Cleveland. I feel like we'd match up much better against them than Atlanta the other year. Well, we got the scoring to be able to beat them as well. Yeah, add a few nice pieces off the bench. Leon Rose. Let's get Fournier and Cam a new home. Let's see what we can add. Some toughness and some shooting. Yeah, like Almighty says, he feels the front office will make a more smaller move. With that said, I think we're definitely going to find these guys a new home. Kaiser would trade everything on the roster currently for Wembanyama or Scoot to start over. They can have Randle and Brunson and both right there. Difference makers in the draft, but yeah, the Knicks aren't going to get that high, I feel. And not with Leon here, the CAA connection, man. Just the way the business works. I feel what you're saying. There's just too many jobs at stake, Leon Rose wasn't brought here to just tank, because anybody could be the president and coach, with Tibbs. If their goal was to just tank, they could have Kenny Atkinson, Johnny Bryant, all of that. That's the situation here, but the pressure is going to continue to mount. If that's their strategy, and if their strategy is to win, they need to bring us some upgrades right here with this situation, man. Yeah, if this was probably earlier, not this season, maybe last season, it would have been blown up. If it was Ainge, if it was Messiah Jiri, any of these guys would have blown it up, man, as well. Poopzilla, what's good? Salute. Malik Beasley could be a fit. Yep. look for these names that the Knicks have been linked to forever, you know. Beasley, Eric Gordon. Wouldn't be surprised, fam, if we got Eric Gordon. He's CAA now. I don't know if you guys know. Eric Gordon signed with CAA. It was about a month or two ago. So that's ominous. He's from Chicago. He's boys with Derrick Rose growing up. Jalen Brunson ties with Chicago. Look no further than CAA. Eric Gordon, ladies and gentlemen. There was reports that the Knicks tried to get the deal done before December 9. You know, more on the older side, but Eric Gordon does address some need. You know, he's a tough defender. He's a shot maker, and he's another ball handler as well. I'm just worried about what would it take to give him up. You know, if the Rockets are giving him up cheap, then I'll go for it. You know, 2 second rounders. Yep, the CAA failure, nepotism with that situation. Well, that's what Dolan spent his money on. You know, it's too far gone. I feel to bring these guys in with the CAA connections. They're going to stick around for a hot minute. Would you trade for Sexton? Absolutely. Yep. But I feel like Utah's happy with him right now. Yep. We just need to play more modern NBA. Like we've been absolutely killed with shooting the last 3 games. Deep range, long range shooters. You know, Zach LaVine getting hot. Fred Van Vliet getting hot as well. And tonight, Harden. We've seen what it is, man. Scoring at the 5 would help us as well. Yeah, let's just get more versatile off the bench with that. Happy with the Brunson move, but yeah, what are we doing around him? Brunson, Randle, we need a true number 1 still. Yep. With that situation, that's a need in this draft. If we're drafting for need, then get us the shooting. Yeah, and I do feel like Evan Fournier was a bit rough, not getting any minutes recently tonight. I mean, you can't find him 15 minutes off the bench. I know he ain't great defensively, but this team's badly in need of some offense, you know, off the bench. So yeah, with that said, let's get ready to wrap this thing up. Hope everyone enjoys the rest of their holiday. Appreciate you all rocking out, Nick Streets. Everything's buzzing still. Smash that like button because the Knicks really did their best today, but just yeah, the roster is not where it needs to be to compete with Philly. But boy, are these next 5 winnable. I mean, that's what I'm really judging this team on, right? We pride ourselves on taking care of these teams that we're better than, and Dallas, San Antonio, Houston, Phoenix, San Antonio again, and hopefully get revenge against the Raptors again. But that's what this team needs to do, right? We can't compete with the Phillies, the Brooklyns, the Bucks, the Celtics, but we need to take care of business against these other teams. With that situation, yeah, we're tanking. There's no guarantee either with the odds. Well, sometimes the team in the 7th or 6th seed rockets right up like the Pelicans, you know, to steal that guy. So, but yeah, there is heaps of talent. Thompson twins, Scoot Hend. Let's go, man. There'll be plenty of draft content coming up. You already know what it is, ladies and gents. Appreciate you all. Merry Christmas to you, your families. Knicks Nation, keep it high. Let's go. Let's get these dubs coming up. And let's keep an eye out, man, to see what moves Leon's got up his sleeve. Because, yeah, we're going to need some bench help. You know, Brunson's banged up. Randle's giving us all that he can. He's an Iron Man right now. But we're an injury or 2 away, man, from going down with that situation. So let's keep it buzzing right now. Smash that like button. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace. Salute.